consequence of his carelessness and decision that nations come under the judgment of the carelessness of one person. This is how God works. Are you understanding me so far? So for someone, you are seated and God is saying, how long? Do you know that by now, if you had stayed with me, there are certain graces you should be walking in now? By now, that apostolic ministry, that prophetic ministry, that evangelistic ministry, that ministry of kingdom financing, maybe based on your prophetic blueprint, if you had walked with God sincerely, by now you would have accessed the measure of wealth to now begin to serve God's program. But you are just beginning. And God is saying, no, it should not be like this. He's calling you and he's telling you it's time to stop giving excuses, to brace up your spirit for an encounter that translates you to a mighty vessel. And I pray for you, help them please, in the name that is above all names. I'm praying for you, whatever is causing the spiritual laxity, that cancer that is eating up your spirit, that will not allow that new wine to emerge, let it die this night. Let it die this night. Let it die this night in the name of Jesus Christ. Please be seated. Please be seated. So I told you to write this, that God will never force or impose his program on anyone. Number two, the manifestation, write this down please, the manifestation of God's desire and plan upon the earth depends on the availability, the willingness, and the yieldedness of the saints. Let me repeat myself, you have to put this down. The manifestation of God's desire and God's plan on the earth depends on the availability, depends on the willingness, and depends on the yieldedness. These are three words you should never forget: availability, willingness, and yieldedness of the saints. If this that we are saying must happen in our lives, in our nation, in our churches, in our groups, in our territories, in our businesses, in our endeavors, it's important for us to know that the manifestation of God's desire and his plan upon the earth depends on the availability, depends on the willingness, depends on the yieldedness of the saints. Isaiah 6:8. The prophet encounters the God of the Bible, and among the many things that happen